guys! So I've made a lot of art mistakes in my life, and I think I'm just gonna tell them to you. I learned a lot from making mistakes on my art journey, and a lot of them are like really dumb mistakes. I guarantee like every single one on this list is so dumb. But with every single mistake I made, there was a lesson to be learned, and they were really embarrassing. Each one, I think I just thought about them in my head for a long time. Like, I can't believe I did this. I hope when you watch this video that you realize it's okay to make mistakes when you do art. All artists are not perfect, we make mistakes, and that's the fun of the journey. Every time we make a mistake, we have this opportunity to learn something from it. Alright, so the first story is I was in college, in undergrad, and I liked to take a break from my homework and just like kind of do art at my desk, and I got these Copic multi-liners and the ink was not coming out of one of them, and I kept coloring and trying to get the ink out, but it just wasn't coming out. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna suck on the end of this and try to get the ink flowing. Maybe it just like needs some sort of vacuum. And so I did that, and I just tasted something really funny. And so I was like, and it was black ink. And so I looked down at the pen and it was covered in black ink. I had black ink on my hands. I went and looked in the mirror and my entire mouth was black. It was bizarre, you know, how fast it exploded. And so I quick washed my hands and rinsed out my mouth. My mouth was still black. I brushed my teeth, my mouth was still black. And I brushed my teeth a couple more times and my mouth was like really black. And so I had like a black mouth for it didn't last longer than that day. Don't suck on your markers to get them to work again. That was stupid. Another thing, I'm pretty sure most of you have done this before, but I'm right there with you. I have drank my paint water by accident. You know, I usually have a cup of coffee, cup of tea, cup of water right next to me, and it's usually pretty close to this thing, and yeah, this stuff doesn't taste good at all. The next thing that I royally messed up with, I was in high school, and every week we had these like sketch assignments that we had to do, and I took them so seriously. Like, I spent hours on these things because, well, I loved art. And I always just really wanted to push myself, really wanted to improve, and I felt like working in your sketchbook is like what's gonna make you improve. So I had this assignment where we had to draw a view from the corner of a room. So it was like, how do I show you guys this? Like the corner of a room. Just kind of like draw what you see in your house from like that perspective. I felt like my house wasn't really like that interesting, so I just decided to make up my own picture, and I didn't think anybody would know. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna make this seem super detailed, make it seem like it's really a house. And I drew this flower pot next to the wall. So when you draw something next to something, it is like two objects, you know, like this. Like, pretend this is the flower pot and this is the wall. Obviously two different things. I didn't do that. I drew it like protruding from the wall, like only half of the pot. So it was like this. Like, I don't know, can you see that? When I handed it in, I was so proud of it and I felt so good about it. And there was like windows and stuff on the other wall, and like I think an end table or a TV or something. So like that wasn't the only thing in the picture. And I remember handing it to my art teacher, and she goes, "Oh, this looks really nice, but what is this? Like, what were you doing?" And I looked at the flower pot, and at that moment I knew, oh, I was not paying attention. I didn't draw my proportions right, and she totally just called me out on this. Like, she probably knows I made up this picture. She told me, like, hey, you know better than this. Like, you know that's not the proportions of this. Like, just pay more attention next time and, like, take your time. And I'm pretty sure she knew, like, that I made up the scene because... Alright, so my next story, I was in high school, and I was a sophomore. So it was my first year at this high school because freshmen were, like, in the junior high. That's just how ours worked. We had 3 grades. And we were on this field trip, and I really looked up to the seniors because they were so good at art. They had such a good work ethic. They always pushed themselves. So I kind of felt a little intimidated by them, but I really looked up to them. There were 3 of them in the back of the school bus, and I was like kind of near the middle or the front. I was just really shy and sitting by myself. I remember one of the seniors like coming up and they were like, hey, can I look through your sketchbook? And so they took it and they went back there to finish looking through the sketchbook. When he came back, he hands it back to me and he says, this is good, but you only draw one eye all the time and these emo bangs to cover the other eye. You do that because you don't want to draw the other eye. And he totally called me out on it, and he was spot on, perfectly right, because I always avoided drawing the second eye. I could never get it right, so I drew these like big swoopy bangs to go over it. And yeah, after that, I didn't do that anymore. Another thing I have done in the past is when I've edited these art videos on my channel, once I mislabeled one of my video files and I thought it was like the one that I was supposed to upload, and I picked the wrong file and I uploaded it, and I didn't realize it for like 10 minutes after the video went up. When I went back to watch it like 10 minutes later, I realized, dude, this is the wrong video. I can't believe I just did this. I'm so embarrassed. Like, oh. I quickly took it down and fixed it, and I have never made that mistake again. My files on my computer are so organized now, so that never happens again. Alright, another thing I have done multiple times, I think. I'm not sure. But I have this reputation of just forgetting to draw eyebrows on people. It's like one of my favorite parts, right? And I save it for last, like, hey, best for last kind of thing. And then I just forget to draw them. And once I posted that on social media too. So those are my embarrassing art stories. They're not horribly bad or anything, but they're things that have definitely made me look back at my mistakes, and I've learned so much from them. Like, you can see this theme in all of my mistakes is I didn't pay enough attention and I rushed things, and so that is one thing I have definitely learned over the years, is not to rush. So quality is way more important than quantity, and I have definitely learned that over time. And another thing is when you try to do things to cover your art insecurities, people usually know. Don't draw bangs over the other eye. Obnoxious bangs too. Maybe covering part of the nose. You don't have to even draw the nose. Half the lips, a little bit of eye showing, like the rest is hair. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good day, and if you're new to the art family, feel free to subscribe down below so you can join us. Have a good day, guys.